It's Rick Kamla, and we are back on Fantasy Points College Football. We've got the releases for Week 7. Coming off a good week. We're having a good year, especially with the best bets, and we're going to try to keep it rolling with Colorado minus 11.5. Tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN, hosting Stanford. It is a best bet. This is going to be an overwhelming Colorado Avalanche for the Stanford Cardinal. The line started at Colorado minus 15. Stanford money is bet it down to 11.5. 54% of the money is coming in on Stanford. One of my top metrics, as you know, is go against the public. So this fits. Stanford's 1-4 overall, 0-4 in conference, 2-3 ATS this year. They got destroyed 56-10 by USC, 42-6 by Oregon. They hung with Arizona 21-20 in a loss. Colorado's not going to spike up for 50, although they might. But I see them winning this game by 3 touchdowns, okay? Stanford has a quarterback problem. Ashton Daniels and Justin Lamson both played last week, and neither played well. Stanford doesn't have skilled players of talent, and so their offense sucks. They're averaging 19 points per game, and I think they're going to get doors blown up in Colorado here. This week, it's Pac-12 After Dark, Deion Sanders, glitzy, the place on fire and lit, and it's just going to be too much for Stanford. Colorado rebounded well from their 42-6 disastrous loss at Oregon, losing 48-41 to USC, and then winning 27-24 at Arizona State. I mean, it's a good loss against USC, and obviously it's a road win in the Pac-12. Colorado rebounded, and so I feel good about where they are because they were in wreckage coming out of the Oregon game. But Shedeur Sanders is going to have a huge game, okay? Stanford's pass defense is unbelievably terrible. 306 passing yards allowed per game, 2.4 passing touchdowns, and 69% completion rate against them. I track numbers for all of these teams. I haven't seen a pass defense in college football worse than that, okay? Shedeur is going to go off. And two-way star Travis Hunter may come back in this game. Return to practice earlier this week. We shall see, but that would be a big boost on both sides of the ball. Finally, Stanford does not heat up quarterbacks, and that is the number one weakness of the Colorado Buffaloes. They have 8 sacks in 5 games, so Shedeur is going to be standing in the pocket, free, clean, easy, for a cover. Risk 3 units on this one. 3. Syracuse at Florida State, also a best bet. Florida State minus 17.5. That line via Caesars. I like the fact that the market for this game has been leaning towards Syracuse all week. The line started FSU minus 19.5. Orange money's brought it down to 17.5. 73% of the action is coming in on the Syracuse side. They zig, we zag, okay? Florida State is headed for the national championship game. Syracuse is hitting rock bottom. They have lost their last 2 games to Clemson and North Carolina by a total score of 71-21. The Orange's plucky 4-0 start was, in fact, fool's gold. Syracuse quarterback Garrett Schrader was playing well during that fool's gold start, okay? But he has come back to earth in those games. 300 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks in the last 2 games combined with 52 yards on 25 carries. It's terrible, okay? And so now you're playing Florida State down in Tallahassee. This is not going to go better for him, okay? The Noles defense has been unreal against the pass. They're giving up 0.6 touchdown passes per game and a completion rate of 54%. Good luck. Quarterbacks Cade Klubnik and Drake May lit up the Orange in these back-to-back games, and I fully expect Heisman hopeful Jordan Travis to do the same with a big old game. Risk 2 units on Florida State here at home against Syracuse. Now, let's go to Knoxville. Texas A&M at Tennessee. I got the Vols minus 3. That's a DraftKings line for you. The Aggies have been getting a lot of love in the sports books this week. This line started at Tennessee minus 7. It's been bet all the way down to 3. 80% of the action is coming in on Texas A&M. Class, what do? They zig, we zag, okay? I like the spot for Tennessee because they're coming off a bye, 2 weeks to prepare. I don't like the spot for Texas A&M because they're coming off a grueling and taxing and heartbreaking loss to Alabama at home, and Alabama always takes a bite out of their opponent. So what's left of the Aggies this week emotionally and physically? Jimbo Fisher's Aggies have not fared well in their most difficult matchups. They got trucked 48-33 at Miami in last week's loss at home to Alabama. The 19th ranked Vols are 4-1, and they qualify as a difficult matchup for the Aggies, especially with this game being in Knoxville, where the Vols are going to win this game. Tennessee's defense has been rock solid. They're allowing 17.8 points, 192 through the air game, and opposing runners are at 3.1 yards per carry. Texas A&M is down to their backup quarterback, Max Johnson. He did not play well last week against Alabama. 14 of 25, 239, one score, one pick. I see those struggles continuing between the checkerboards here. And the Aggies, lastly here, they have a very good defense and a very good run defense, okay? They're giving up 84 on the ground per game. But they have not faced a three-pack of studs like Tennessee has with Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, and with Dylan Sampson. And I don't see them exploding for 250 yards and 4 touchdowns, one of these Big Ten stat lines, but I do see them being effective in creating offensive balance because when Joe Milton is forced to do it all, that's when the house of cards comes crumbling down. If they have offensive balance, they're going to be fine, and I believe that is going to be the case. Now, let's go to South Bend. USC +3 at Notre Dame, that line via Caesars. We can break down this game from Montana to Mongolia to your mom's house, okay? But it comes down to the dudes under center. USC has the Heisman frontrunner for the second straight season, Caleb Williams. Absolutely unstoppable in a Lincoln Riley offense because of his talents and because of Lincoln Riley, okay? Notre Dame has Sam Hartman, who has a tendency to come up real choky in big games, okay? It's already happened twice this season. Twice, okay? He was dreadful against Ohio State in the first half. That's when and how they lost that football game. They didn't score a point, okay? Last week, Hartman absolutely face-planted in a big road game at undefeated Louisville, and he threw 3 interceptions. And to me, I started wondering, like, is he going to keep this job all year? Like, that's how bad he was against Louisville, okay? USC's defense absolutely sucks. Well documented, we all get this. But it's a big game. So I do see Hartman putting up some stats, but ultimately he's going to throw a pick. He's going to take a sack when he shouldn't. Should have gotten rid of the ball. There's going to be a Tony Romo-esque mistake here, okay? I love the fact that Caleb Williams and USC are coming off a poorly played home win, 43-41 over lowly Arizona, and they had to go to overtime at the Coliseum to do it. Frankly, it felt like a loss for the Trojans, okay? Williams had 219 passing yards and 1 touchdown through the air. What? It's like a halftime stat line for him. He did manage 3 scores on the ground because he always finds a way. Now, the law of averages are going to kick in this week, I believe, and it'll go more towards the pass for Caleb Williams here. And the Irish defense is good, but they haven't faced a supernova like Caleb Williams yet, and I don't think they're going to handle that well. Notre Dame is getting 54% of the action here, giving us one more little reason to like the Trojans. Risk 1 unit on this one. And lastly, we go to Madtown. Iowa at Wisconsin. Wisconsin -9.5. That's a Caesars line, and the line is everything here. Okay, guys, I want to make this clear. I do not like the Badgers -10. To me, it's got push written all over it. The Badgers is 9.5, 9, 8, anything below 10, bang it. Okay. I see like a 20-10 type of scoreboard here. This is going to be an ugly, awful, low-scoring, unwatchable game. But Wisconsin is going to exploit the fact that Cade McNamara, the starting QB for Iowa, blew a tire. He's out for the year. Wisconsin transfer, how about that? Deacon Hill is under center for Iowa now, and he did not play well last week in their home loss to Purdue, who's not good at all this year. That was a horrible loss for Iowa. 6 of 21, 110, 1 score, 1 pick, nothing on the ground for Deacon Hill in that game. Now he's going to Wisconsin, who always plays grimy defense, and they play even better defense at home. This ain't going to go well. I was going to have a tough time scoring a touchdown. The Badgers allow 18 points a game. That's 28th in the land. I see a couple of TDs and I see a couple of field goals for Wisconsin, okay? I'm not talking about any tilting of the machine here, but Wisconsin has a dude by the name of Braylon Allen, one of the best running backs in the country, comes in with 472 and 7 touchdowns on the ground. He's going to be the best player on the football field here. And somehow the Headless Hawkeyes are getting 82% of the action here, okay? Giving me even more confidence in the Badgers. But again, guys, not at 10. Take them at 9.5 or 9. I'm Rick Kamla. We will see you next week as we advance towards Week 8 in the college football season. Good luck here in Week 7, and we'll see you soon. Peace, guys.